It's Conduit News Radio with Paul Harrell.
I want to introduce you to Elizabeth Johnston. She's the author of Not on My Watch, How to Win the Fight for Family, Faith, and Freedom. Elizabeth, welcome to the program. How are you?
Thank you so much. It's an honor to be with you.
Absolutely. So you are, I hear in your bio, or I'm reading in your bio here, a traditional values activist, a publisher of activistmommy.com, and a concerned mother of 10 children. So congratulations on the 10 children. That's incredible. So what are you concerned about?
All the radical leftist Marxist attack on our values. We have children now being stolen from their parents by the state because parents do not support their kids ingesting non-FDA drugs to undergo a so-called sex change. We have 3,000 babies a day being murdered through abortion. We have pornographic and gender-bending sex ed in our schools through Planned Parenthood and Human Rights Campaign in our schools. Radical leftist lobbies that should not be in our schools, taxpayer-funded schools at that, teaching our children values that are against how we raise our children. That's not what we send our kids to school for. We send our kids to school to learn reading, writing, and arithmetic. These are just a few of the radical Marxist issues that we are fighting and that as parents we are concerned about on a daily basis.
You know, you mentioned education. Are you a school choice person? Do you think that may be some of the answers here?
Absolutely. It would be better than what we're doing right now. I personally am a homeschooling mother and highly encourage homeschooling for those who can. But for those who are in the school system and are not making the homeschool choice, yes, school choice would definitely be a better option.
Yeah, well, I just mentioned that our in my state of Arkansas, which we're broadcasting across right now, we had no luck with school choice this year. The educational industrial complex, as I call it, they made sure to not get any progress at all with school choice, and so that's extremely frustrating. You know, you mentioned these drugs that some parents, and this is happening across the country, where apparently it's not child abuse to give kids hormone blockers when, quote, they've decided that they want to be a different sex or a different gender. How's that not child abuse, Elizabeth?
Yeah, kids can't get in a tanning bed, but they can ingest non-FDA approved drugs that are going to alter them for life. Not quite sure how this is not medical malpractice. My husband is a medical doctor, and I'm telling you, this is medical malpractice, and it's one of the craziest medical schemes that has been foisted upon our nation ever in our history.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's, I guess I just don't understand. I mean, we have so many people that want, to define their own reality in spite of, the idea that sex is biological. And because of that, they're willing to, like you said, alter somebody's, a physical state for the rest of their life, do damage to them for the rest of their life. And they're saying, well, that's okay. That's one thing where you can really just say a lot of people are blind to what our society is becoming. I've talked a long time. We're talking with Elizabeth Johnston. She's author of a book called Not on My Watch, How to Win the Fight for the Family, for Family, Faith, and Freedom. I've talked for a long time. I guess this is I'm going to my 10th year in radio. I've talked for a long time about how there is this moral decay from within, and it's a slow moral rot. It seems to be accelerating, but then you do have you do have pockets of hope. One of the things when you mention abortion and Planned Parenthood is, for several years now, you have these pregnancy resource centers or help centers that are going out there. They're making relationships with these young women who are in a very confusing, scary time, and they're giving them a free ultrasound, and then these women are choosing life, and then and so that's a good thing, right?
Absolutely. And for 20 years, I've raised my children on the front lines of abortion clinics. We go out and pray and offer help and hope and free ultrasounds and pregnancy tests and whatnot. And we have been blessed to see many lives saved because of this. And of course, a lot of people are seeing that modeled in the movie Unplanned that has been out now for 2 weekends. They are watching how believers in Jesus Christ who are outside these abortion clinics, being the hands and feet of Jesus, which is where I believe that in 2019 Jesus very well might be, if he were here walking on this earth, outside of an abortion clinic, where hurting people are going in and out, and making a choice to pay someone to execute their child. We have been blessed to experience what it's like to rescue a child, to hold a baby in your arms that you were instrumental in saving. And so that's really exciting. We're excited about how God is using this movie Unplanned, and I share some of the stories of how we've seen babies' lives saved in my book, Not on My Watch.
Wow, that's fantastic. So you've been doing this. I mean, is this your first book? Let me ask you that, Elizabeth.
This is my first book. My family and I have been pro-life activists all my married life. But as far as the activist mommy goes, that platform has only started 2 years ago. It was very unexpected, never intended on being a public figure. I've been a diaper bag carrying homeschool mom for 20 years. This was very organic and fast, and really when Obama issued the transgender bathroom directive in the public schools, and I knew that grown men were going to be in the dressing rooms and shower rooms of our daughters, I no longer recognize my country, and said I've got to get off the sidelines and on the front lines of this battle. I'm very frightened for what my children and my future grandchildren are going to grow up in. And so I filmed my first little vlog video, and the rest is history. Lo and behold, 70 million video views later, there was a hunger in our culture for a bold and biblical answer to the social and moral issues of the day.
Wow. I think you're exactly right. And what I also think is, I think there's a lot more people that agree with you and me than what the media allows to get out. You know, they have a blockade on the truth. I mean, I think that's why, honestly, that's why President Trump won. And that's why the media was so shocked, because they'd spent 18 months telling everybody that Hillary was going to be the next president. We're seeing the fact that the traditional way of communicating, you mentioned your video got 70 million views. The traditional way of communicating with the media, being able to control what we think and how we perceive events, they're becoming more irrelevant by the day.
You know, social media is the Roman road of today. It is unquestionably changed the landscape and given us an opportunity that we did not have because of, as you say, the leftist media blockout that we have been experiencing for many years. I have been able to do what I've done from the comfort of my home. I am not a career woman, and I have been able to influence culture just as an ordinary mom, and that is what my book, Not on My Watch, inspires ordinary moms and dads and grandparents to do, is to influence culture right where they are in their sphere of influence. For instance, when Teen Vogue magazine was teaching kids how to sodomize one another in fashion magazine, my husband built a little bonfire for me out in the backyard, and I burned a copy of Teen Vogue magazine and was ruthlessly mocked and called a Nazi book burner. That video was viewed 15 million times. And 5 months later, Teen Vogue went out of business, a publication that has been in print since I was a little girl. One person can make a huge difference if we're willing to not be bullied by the left. Yeah, wow, that's incredible.
Well, Elizabeth Johnston, really appreciate you coming on the program. Again, she's the author of Not on My Watch, How to Win the Fight for the Family, Faith, and Freedom. Elizabeth, thank you. Keep up the good work, and let's stay in touch.
Thanks so much. God bless you.
All righty, God bless you. Elizabeth Johnston, everybody.